Hey, hello. How's it going? Hi, I'm Cryptic Creature. First thing, I want to apologize in advance for my voice or mistakes that I'm gonna make during this voiceover, because I've never made one. I don't like talking in general, like to anyone, and I think my voice sounds really silly. So I don't know how confident I'm going to sound. And also I'm not actually using a microphone. This is my phone. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. Apologies in advance if it's not that great. And this is the first time I've ever done anything in terms of a structured YouTube video. So thank you in advance for picking my video to watch. I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoy it. Also, sorry about the background noise. I have a very loud air conditioning unit behind me. Okay, so who am I? Isn't that a good question? I'm Cryptic Creature, like I already said, or I go by KK. I'm an artist that primarily posts fan art online. Mostly Sonic the Hedgehog because I'm very, very cool. And Amy Russ is my favorite, and I draw her a lot. So, in my first video, I wanted to do sort of an introduction, introduce myself, talk about why I wanted to start YouTube, and I thought it'd be a really good idea to have my drawing subject be a Meet the Artist drawing. It's been forever and a day since I made one, so I was pretty excited to make a new one. Oh yeah, and I also just kind of wanted this to be a big hello to everyone on the platform. And okay, I think this intro is long enough now, so we can get into the art. Art time, wee, woohoo! So I cracked open my sketchbook to start on the first stage, which is figuring out the composition and what style I wanted to kind of represent myself in. My sketchbook is a Illo spiral bound sketchbook, in case anyone wants to know. So first thing I did was sharpen my pencil, which is a Prismacolor Cool Erase pencil in pink, which is my favorite thing to sketch in as of late. I just really like the color because I like pink a lot, for whatever reason. And it blends in really nicely with markers. I really like how it looks underneath. It just kind of seamlessly blends in, and it doesn't stick out too much. Also, I completely forgot, but this first third of the video is filmed in portrait orientation. I don't know why. I think I was just kind of going on autopilot because I filmed a couple short videos and they're always in portrait whenever I put it in this arm clamp that I have. I don't know, I just brain farted kinda. I forgot that I was making a YouTube video essentially and I didn't put it in landscape. But after this sketch stage, it is in landscape. I don't know, I'm very silly and I forgot it, but it's okay. I fixed it. Stupid bug messed up my backdrop. Okay. More bugs. Want to taste them? Huh? Huh? I meant peace, but yeah. It's fine. The joke makes sense because flies have taste receptors on their feet. It's fine. Yeah, a little gnat thing landed on my sketchbook and I smacked it, and then I remembered that I was recording, so I was cringe about it. Hope you enjoyed that, because I sure did. Right here, my husband brought me chow and some Pepto and Gatorade because I was feeling gross and icky that day. Right here, I'm inking the primary sketch of the pose that I decided to go with. I made sure that it was really dynamic and that it has like a way to bring the viewer's eye kind of into the focal point of like the bio. I didn't have to do much exploration because I just kind of liked the way that one worked and I liked the proportions and everything. I decided to draw myself in one of my favorite outfits, like my favorite comfy outfit, which is my bright pink like parachute cargo pant things. My pink overpuff croc slippers. They look weird when I draw them, but they're just a weird looking shoe in general, so I don't know, I think I made it look kind of cool. They look oversized here, but they actually look oversized like Kingdom Hearts shoes on me in real life, so it works. I think I made it look kind of neat. And my favorite t-shirt, which is a black t-shirt that I got from Hot Topic. It's by Goody Two Sleeves, I think it is. It's a Generation 1 My Little Pony t-shirt, and I like the way it fits on me and stuff, and it's like really comfy, and I love My Little Pony, so it's something that I wear all the time, like all the time. At the time, I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to depict the graphic on the shirt, because it is a pretty detailed graphic. It has at least 9 characters on it, so I left it black in the sketch and in the final, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I thought it would be best to leave it up to digital just in case I made like a mistake or it looked really muddy on top of the ink, which I think worked out pretty well in the end. So here are my exploratory sketches. I have this one, which looks like my mom for some reason, and then I have this one. Yeah, that doesn't look like me. And then I have my little Sona. And that sketch in the upper right corner that looks like my mom is really funny because I actually have a hard time like drawing my mom whenever I have to. I'm not sure what it is. It's always been like that, like forever. It's really hard for me to get her features down. And the one time that I'm trying to draw a face that doesn't look like her, it ends up looking like her. It's the irony. The irony. Art is great. So on to the final art. And I'm inking this with a classic G-Pen nib in a Tachikawa nib holder, and I'm inking it with Kaimei drawing ink. And I love this stuff for inking, especially for marker work, because it does not budge whatsoever. It will not smudge. Like, no matter how many marker things you put on top of it, it's not gonna smudge. And that was something that I noticed actually when I was inking with the microns in my sketchbook, is they actually were smudging a lot worse than I remember they do. It's been a long time since I've touched them, and they were smudging like crazy in my sketchbook. I don't know if it's that they're too old, because these are the same ones that I've had for like a few years now, but they were not having it with the markers. Maybe I was just like not letting it dry long enough, but yeah, it just kind of makes me want to draw with the Kaimei drawing ink more, because even when you erase on top of it, it doesn't lose its like opacity like how microns will. I remember being really frustrated back in the day with my microns when I first tried them, because people were talking about how when you erased over them, they didn't fade. But when I tried them, and I erased over them. They did. I was so angry. But with Kaimei drawing ink, I haven't had those problems. So, I don't know. Just need to get on the dip pen train, I guess. Like everybody does. Dip pens are great. I love them. Yeah, there's nothing I could do about my head getting in the way of this shot right here, because I knew that if I wasn't going to mess up the face, I had to get like really, really close so I could get the inking all right. So I had to make a sacrifice, and well, you see the back of my head right there. You know, great professional content. I'm so good at this. So for coloring my skin, I have a specific combination of colors that I like to use for skin types that are close to my pigment. You'll kind of notice in the video that I have a kind of gradient from like the top of my arms to the underside, where like it gets lighter on the underside. And I like to depict that. I think that it kind of like gives it a little bit more realism. And the way I like to do that in Copic markers is I like to lay down a base layer of E00 cotton pearl, go over the areas that the sun hits with YR00 powder pink, and then go over some areas like the fingertips, the elbows, and the cheeks and the ears with E93 Tea Rose. And I think that's like the sweet spot. It kind of depicts the lightness, I guess, in like a really colorful way, because it's really easy to wash out like really pale skin. So I think it hits a nice balance. My hair is something that can be hard to get a good balance for too, because I am a natural redhead, and my like kind of hue is not as light as a mid-tone kind of like red hair. Mine's a little bit on the darker side, so it's like almost auburn but not as brown, but I don't want it to look brown, because I actually do like my hair. I think it looks kind of neat. So it's hard to kind of find a balance for that, where it's like, you know, a little bit darker than stark red, but, you know, not as dark as like a brown. So what I ended up using was R08 Vermilion and layered E19 Redwood on top. And that, I think, actually was really close to real life. It's almost perfect. And I, for some reason, decided to use the same color combination for my eyes, but my eyes are brown, so it kind of just made my hair like be coated brown, and that's not what I was after, so I ended up changing it in the digital stage, so you'll see that later. So my persona doesn't look quite accurate to how she's supposed to look. I wanted her to have more cutesy proportions than my real life self, to emphasize that she's the made up version of me. She's probably the thing that I'm least happy with in terms of the whole image. I don't think I did that great a job with her proportions, and her colors don't look as appealing as they do when I draw her digitally. That's because I don't really have any Copic colors that match hers better than the ones I used here, but I did my best with the ones I had. I tried to adjust them a little in the pencil stage, and that helped a tiny bit, but I think she's still a far cry from what she looks like when I draw her digitally. So in a bit, you'll see me go over the drawing in colored pencils, and I used to not do this, but I find myself valuing texture a lot more in my art lately, and I really like how pencil looks over markers now. I do a kind of hatching over every surface, like following the curvature of like every surface, and I add a bit of bounce light, reflecting colors, deeper shadows, anything that I think the art will really need. with colored pencils when I can. I use them to add the tartan sort of pattern to my Sona's cardigan. Once again, not entirely accurate to her colors, but I don't have a lot of colored pencils, so it was the closest match that I do have currently. I really like using pencils to texture hair. They're perfect for the job, and I managed to get a really nice texture for my real life self's hair, but I guess the color was too close to the marker underneath or something, because it wasn't picked up by the scanner when I got it transferred to my computer, unfortunately, so I had to go back in later in the digital stage. And then my phone ran out of storage. Yeah, so somehow I did not realize that I had my phone's video set to 4K 60 FPS, and that ate through my storage so fast. I couldn't record past some of the pencil stage. That's fine because I did get the most important parts, but it was a nightmare to transfer to my computer because the quality made the video files like huge. It was horrible. So now I would like to kind of talk about why I felt the need to start this YouTube channel. And of course I want to use this platform to help expand my reach and get my art seen by more people. I think every artist that starts a channel wants that too, and I do hope that it finds its audience and grows with them as I grow too. Yeah, I kind of have this problem where I overthink absolutely everything as much as possible, and then I scare myself out of doing something because I convince myself it's cringy or it's not good, even if I want to do it. And we're halfway through 2025 now. I have things I've wanted to do and dreams I've wanted to chase since I was like 12 years old. And I decided that I'm tired of spinning my wheels and banging my head against a wall, and I want to do them. And starting a channel and making videos is one of those things. It's like that saying, do it, but I'm scared, then do it scared. So I'm doing it scared right now. But the biggest reason is more personal, I would say. I'm not gonna go into detail, but just to be frank, just one-to-one, these past 3 to 4 years, I can confidently say have been the most difficult that I've ever experienced in my entire life. I've never really experienced anything difficult in terms of mental health before these 3 to 4 years, but now it's like I have a whole new brain that I'm learning to manage, and it's really affected my identity, like as a person altogether. But I feel like it's really affected my art, which it's really strange feeling this disconnected to something that is a part of me as much as like my body is a part of me. Art is my soul, it's who I am, and I've never felt so far away from it. Everything has shifted in a really big way for me, especially this year. I got married, I moved house to another part of my state, really far away from the city I've grown up in since I was like 8, and it's much smaller than where my childhood home is. I've never lived anywhere like here, and I think that's a big part of it. Everything has shifted so much. I got knocked out of the place I had before, and I'm having to feel around and find out where it is again. I feel like the things that I value have shifted almost, like my interests have shifted, kind of. I want to have more room for happy things in my life. And that's bled into my art. I've been heavily dissatisfied with my art for, I would say, the past 5 years. Like, no artist has ever said that before, right? But the things that I value and my interests are changing the lens of my art too. So that's what I want to do with this channel, is I want to take you along with me as I start from zero, essentially, and carve out and forge a place in myself while I make some fun stuff. Anyway, that's enough serious and sad stuff for one video, I think. So right here, I'm adding in these stars around me in my Sona. I drew and painted on pieces of paper in different colors and then cut them out to make them. And I wanted to record that part, but that was my phone ran out of storage, so yeah, that didn't end up happening. When I scanned them, my scanner picked up each individual star as its own image, so like each one was like scanned.jpg, and like I had 8 of them because I made a lot of stars. That was kind of annoying to have to keep track of, but they came out looking pretty nice, so that's all that matters. I then went in and added a bunch of cute stickers that I had saved to my sketchbook folder already. I used these for my social media banner, and I wanted this whole image to have a similar vibe to that because I think it came out looking kind of cool. You'll see them jump around a lot and disappear because I wasn't sure which ones I was going to actually use until I put them in the image. This rainbow sticker in particular I really wanted to use because I didn't use it for my social media banner, but it's really cute and I like rainbows, and I thought I wanted to have one somewhere, but I thought in the end it was too many stars, so eventually I do remove it. So some of the things I want to do on this YouTube channel are art, of course, mainly. I have a lot of videos that I plan on making and uploading in the near future, and they're all art related, but I also have some experimental ideas. Like, for instance, I thought about playing a game from when I was a kid for a video, and what I would do is talk about the game or do a mini playthrough / like let's play. Like, I would intersperse clips sometimes of me playing the game in between me talking about it, and then near the end or like halfway through I would draw something inspired by it, kind of like how Emma Artley does sometimes. I'm not sure yet though. I want to find out a good way to combine my interests with art, like movies, games, comics, toys. I'll figure it out, but I figure if anyone wants to give any suggestions, I'd be very appreciative, so leave a comment if you have ideas. The video has an awkward cut right here because I still wasn't sure how I was going to do my shirt graphic, and I didn't know how long it was going to take to find a picture of my shirt for reference, because I couldn't find my shirt for some reason, because why would I be able to find it when I needed it? But what I ended up doing was getting a JPEG with as clear an image as possible of the graphic, cropping it until it was just the graphic itself, and then mesh transforming it to fit the curvature of the body. And I also lowered the opacity so the JPEG blended into the black of the shirt, and I think it worked out pretty well. Some of these quote-unquote stickers aren't actually stickers. They're pictures of little plastic bug toys that I took with my husband's phone because he has a nicer phone than I do. The original intention of those photos was to be used for my social media banner, but I ended up not having enough space for them, so I figured I could use them here instead. I also had to add a little Sonic Advance Amy because she's very important. So then I went over my eyes and made them actually brown. I drew a bunch more stars in the background behind my character to also tie it into my profile picture. I'm still not sure that was a good idea. It might look too crowded with them in it, but I ended up keeping it anyway, so whatever. I also forgot to mention a bunch of these assets like the tape and the tags and stuff from Retro Supply Company's office supplies pack. They are so cool, and I love using them whenever I can. And I figured there are some artists out there who could benefit from them too, so go look them up when you can. I would leave a link in the description, but I'm not sponsored, and I don't know if there's a YouTube rule about that, so... I also used some of Retro Supply Company's texture brushes to add some nice grimy texture, and then tried some gradient maps to try and make everything look nice and tied together. I also added a bit of a drop shadow behind me and my Sona to kind of separate the both of us from the background. And I was done after that. And here's the final product. I wasn't sure I liked it right after I finished it, but I think I'm more fond of it now. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw this. I know this video was sort of long, but I at least hope it was fun. And if you're hearing this, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this whole thing. It makes me really happy knowing that I'm not just screaming into a void and there are some people out there who want to watch what I make. If you liked it, please consider subscribing or liking the video. It helps tremendously. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye!